Welcome to Dark Celtic History.
The War of the One-Eyed Woman. Margaret, the first wife of Donald Gorm Mor MacDonald, is said to roam the castle, howling in anguish. Margaret was the sister to Roderick Mor, chief of Clan MacLeod. Now, the MacLeods and MacDonalds were long-standing enemies. The warring clansmen had been involved in a series of battles which had come to a head 23 years earlier when almost the entire MacDonald population on the Isle of Eigg were wiped out by the MacLeods. In a reprisal attack, the MacDonalds blocked the escape routes and set alight the church at Trumpan, filled with MacLeods. The plan might have worked, but a girl escaped and raised the alarm. Upon hearing this, the MacLeods mustered and chased the MacDonalds, killing them all at Ardmore Bay. The bodies were buried in a turf dyke, thus the battle became known as the Battle of the Spoiling of the Dyke. Now, both sides knew that the killing could not continue and decided to broker a peace treaty. At the center of the agreement, Margaret MacLeod was handfasted to Donald Gorm Mor MacDonald. Now, handfasting was a legally recognized temporary marriage. The maiden had a year in which to please her husband, at which point he could fully wed her or release her from her contract. Unfortunately for poor Margaret, she was unable to produce a male child within the required time frame. And to make matters worse, she lost one of her eyes in a tragic accident. Now, Donald decided that he was going to wiggle out of this contract, and his father had her sent back to Dunvegan under the most humiliating of circumstances. Margaret was forced to sit backwards on a one-eyed horse, led by a one-eyed servant with a one-eyed mongrel dog. Now, this insult had the desired effect, and the War of the One-Eyed Woman had begun. Now, the feud had continued to escalate until MacDonald decided to end it with a decisive battle. Rory MacLeod rushed off to seek help from Archibald Campbell, 7th Earl of Argyll. Now, this was the moment that MacDonald of Sleat was waiting for. During the MacLeod chieftain's absence, he took the opportunity to launch an all-out invasion of northern Skye. The cattle seized in this raid were driven south to Cor na Creek, or Cor of the Foray, overlooking Glen Brittle, below Broch na Frith. Now, many will know this location as the Ferry Pools. Now, it was here that the MacLeod forces, led by Roy's brother Alistair, finally caught up with the MacDonalds. Now, the battle began late in the day and continued well into the night. The history records the battle as a victory for the MacDonalds, but it was said that the battle was so brutal and so many had been slain that Alt Cor of Vadi ran red with blood. Now, the Scottish Privy Council was so horrified by the turn of events that they stepped in and forced truce between the feuding clans. They never went to war against each other again. And as for Margaret, legend has it that upon her death, her ghost returned to the castle where her wails can be heard by those about to have an accident on their own. And it's also said that Donald Gorm Mor MacDonald, on his deathbed, one of the servants is quoted as saying she saw a ghostly figure standing over him as he took his last breath, in the form of Margaret MacLeod. So I guess she got her revenge in the end.